Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. As the date for the reopening of schools island-wide approaches, Health Minister Mary Isaac is addressing concerns of teachers and the society at large over the safety of students and staff. Isaac says while she understands the COVID-19 related concerns, education is a must, and with no clear signs of the complete eradication of COVID-19 anytime soon, it is not feasible to continue to keep schools closed. Rochelle Gonzalez has more.
The island's health minister, Mary Isaac, has admitted that her ministry, including herself, are all concerned about the possible setbacks that could occur once schools island-wide are reopened on the 8th of September. Isaac spoke candidly to Hot 7 TV on the subject matter, stating that although it is a ticklish issue, tough decisions need to be made. The health minister said her ministry is working closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that no stones are left unturned, as in such a case where lives are concerned, there is no room for error.
We are very, very concerned about that, but we recognize that we have a country to run. We have children who need to be educated, who have to be back in school, and we must take every precaution to ensure that when we reopen those schools, that we have all the protocols in place and we are going to follow these protocols.
Isaac said the success of the entire initiative depends heavily on a strong team effort, and she was not solely referring to teachers.
I am calling on parents to respect the protocols, to ensure that their children are protected when they send their children to school, follow the protocols as the teacher require them to follow the protocols. Teachers follow the protocols as the principal and the Ministry of Education is requesting that you follow the protocols, because these institutions are working with the Ministry of Health, and it is the Ministry of Health that is advising them, the Ministry of Health that is together with them developing the protocols so that when they are implemented, they are done in such a way that we are going to keep our children and our people and our communities safe.
All educational institutions on island were closed since Monday the 16th of March 2020. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Now, the president of the Principals Association, Valerie St. Helen Henry, spoke to Hot 7 TV on Wednesday, explaining the way forward with plans for the reopening of schools island-wide come the 8th of September. Rochelle Gonzalez has more.
The Ministry of Education has been engaging all stakeholders as it pertains to the structure of the instructional plan for the reopening of school on the 8th of September 2020. One of the said stakeholders who participated in that process is the National Principals Association. President of the NPA, Valerie St. Helen Henry, said the ministry also met with principals of small and large primary and secondary schools, as well as teachers, inclusive of the St. Lucia Teachers Union. She said the process has been carefully planned out.
The ministry is the one responsible for disseminating the final plan for the reopening of school, based on the collective input of all stakeholders. In the meantime, principals along with their teachers are putting all necessary plans in place for their schools. The planning process is quite intense and demanding, as principals are directed by various guidelines, protocols as well as regulations in the selecting of the best plan most suitable and practical to both the school's physical plant as well as its human resource capacity, that is both the teachers and the students.
The NPA president said teachers are aware of the mammoth task that awaits them returning to classes after more than half a year out. However, they are well prepared.
In my conviction, as every school reopens in September, the principals and staff are going to warmly welcome all students to their schools, as they have been at home for 7 long months. We will ensure that all measures are in place for both teachers and students to be safe, comfortable, and secure at their schools. Safety of students and staff is a priority as we open under new circumstances. The National Principals Association will continue to provide the support to its members as well as to continue the dialogue with the Ministry of Education as we prepare for the unusual reopening of school.
The NPA president said another vital group who formed part of the planning process was the parents themselves. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
On Tuesday, Acting Police Commissioner Milton Daisy, in a COVID-19 response update to the nation, indicated that the Royal St. Lucia Police Force has faced and continues to face a myriad of challenges when it comes to enforcing COVID-19 protocols. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
St. Lucia to date has had 25 cases of COVID-19 and no deaths. The St. Lucian authorities placed a number of measures to ensure the safety of the nation during the peak of the pandemic on island. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is tasked with ensuring that now that the country's borders are reopened, people do not enter illegally or openly flout the rules that have been implemented to safeguard the population. Acting Police Commissioner Milton Daisy on Tuesday stated that 2 individuals have been arrested and taken into quarantine and warns that violators will face the consequences of being non-compliant to protocols.
This last week, 2 persons were arrested for that. They were taken into quarantine because they come in, we do not know, so we had to ensure that they go through the process and then we would do the charging. The police is not, we more believe in assisting persons and so on, but however, when persons have broken the law, they need to be arrested. For COVID, we wouldn't like to arrest somebody for not wearing a mask, but the persons need to be responsible and they should know that there are consequences for not doing certain things, and that person should just do it.
He expressed that the police force experienced many challenges when trying to enforce the laws that were passed for the safety of the nation. He says both physical and human resources were stretched. Both
the physical resources and the human resources. And with physical resources, I must thank the various ministries who loaned us their vehicle during the curfew period, because that assisted us a great deal in patrolling the various areas to ensure that the checkpoints were maintained, to ensure that persons were complying to the various protocols that were in place. Also, with the human resources, what we did was to call in some persons who were on leave, persons who were due to go on leave, their leave were cancelled. Also, we had persons from the members of the police band who ordinarily would not be doing this type of duty. We took them from their regular band duties and they augmented our teams.
Daisy appealed to members of the public to continue adhering to the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The Civil Service Association is investigating reports of non-compliance to COVID-19 protocols at various public sector institutions. CSA General Secretary Claude Paul says members have voiced concerns about the availability of hand sanitizers and the enforcement of wearing a mask. He says given the impact that non-compliance could have on the health of the CSA membership, these reports will be investigated thoroughly. Shaka Wooding reports.
In order for businesses to be given clearance by the Environmental Health Division of the Ministry of Health to resume operations during the COVID-19 pandemic, they must show the capacity to adhere to all the COVID-19 protocols as outlined by the Chief Medical Officer. However, it is alleged by public servants that many government offices are not fully complying with these protocols. General Secretary of the Civil Service Association, Claude Paul, confirmed that the CSA has indeed received such reports from its membership.
We are actually monitoring the situation now to ensure that all government departments are adhering to the protocols put out by the Environmental Health Division of the Ministry of Health. I think we looked at the protocols and we were satisfied with them. The issue, though, is not all government departments or government offices have implemented all or part of those proposals.
He stressed that even without evidence of community spread, the possibility of members being implicated while performing their duties cannot be taken lightly. Paul says the CSA is in contact with the Environmental Health Division to ensure that the issue is addressed swiftly.
We are monitoring it. We are in touch with the I have been in touch with the head of the environmental health, and he agrees that we should work together to bring about full compliance of all government agencies.
In the interim, the CSA encourages members to take personal action by ensuring that they wear masks, carry hand sanitizers for personal use, and maintain physical distance. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's much more coming up after the break.